mean, like, y'all said it, like, that's how it went down with his exes, right? Just cold-hearted, like, out the picture, like, the kids don't matter. No, because I thought, like, he actually fucking loved us, you know? Thought I was different. What the fuck?
I think Drew actually left Stephanie. She's currently ugly crying on TikTok right now, and I don't think this is rage bait this time. She also admitted to us all that we were right, but she had hope like she would be different. And she just met the harsh reality that she was not different. Drew is the same POS that he was to his first two baby mamas. In the caption, she wrote, "Yeah, why would I be any different? I thought the kids would be enough." And that she praised that she still gets to see Deshawn. Drew was obviously nowhere to be found in that video, so I'm assuming that he left and took Deshawn, or maybe that he left by himself and left Deshawn with Desiree, because I believe it was Desiree's weekend with Deshawn. He's been making a lot of cryptic posts all day, and we thought this was going to be rage. He's just doing this for engagement. He's going to be back with this man next week. I don't think that's the case. I think Drew left her, and these are the tears of a woman scorned.
Stephanie Jenkins has once again set social media on fire, and this time she insists it's different. Her recent rants paint the picture of a woman at a breaking point, claiming she's finally ready to walk away from Drew for good. But her followers remain divided. Is this truly the end of their messy, complicated relationship, or just another round in a long, exhausting cycle that seems impossible to escape? It all started with a fiery Facebook video that immediately caught everyone's attention and set the tone for everything that followed. Stephanie did not ease into it. She came straight out swinging, opening with a direct and pointed challenge. "So you're better for him than me? Huh? What a naughty concept." Her words were aimed at Drew's alleged side chick, and you could hear it in her voice. The frustration, the disbelief, the exhaustion, and the heartbreak. But this wasn't only about jealousy or competition with another woman. This was years of emotional weight boiling over. The tone, the cracks in her voice, and her body language all carried the sound of someone who had been holding too much for far too long.
Nothing I say here is fact. Stephanie, I've said it once before, I'm going to say it again. If a man wants to cheat, he will cheat. You can have his location, he can tell you everything, he can be the most open person ever, and he will still cheat. Where there's a will, there's a way. Like, we already know he's had multiple pocket bitches. He's definitely got more.
Stephanie then went deeper into her personal struggles, revealing layers of pain many did not realize she was carrying. Could you still keep a clean home 100% of the time after your spirit is broken from years of not being heard? Or when your home is a tiny motel room with 5 kids that constantly create clutter? It's what kids do. This wasn't just a rhetorical question, it was her truth. It showed how overwhelmed she feels trying to balance raising 5 kids, maintaining a home, managing endless financial pressures, and holding together a relationship that feels like it's fallen apart. The details she shared painted a vivid picture: a cramped motel room, constant clutter, kids needing attention, and a partner who, in her eyes, doesn't seem to notice how heavy it's all become. For many viewers, this was one of the most open and unfiltered sides of Stephanie that I'd ever seen. It wasn't scripted, it wasn't polished, and it certainly wasn't controlled. Every sentence felt raw and real. A woman at her breaking point, exposing her reality to the world. For the first time, her audience got a clearer, deeper glimpse into what life behind those videos truly looked like. Stephanie did not hold back when it came to Drew. She let everything out, leaving no room for doubt about how frustrated and exhausted she feels. In her words, Drew has completely changed from the man she thought she knew. She accused him of being a narcissist, saying he constantly invalidates her feelings, shuts her down when she tries to communicate, and leaves her feeling emotionally abandoned. She admits she's tired of to the maximum, explaining that the constant ups and downs of this relationship have worn her out to a breaking point. Described how Drew's wandering attention makes her feel invisible, admitting that seeing him look at other women repeatedly chips away at her self-worth. Beyond that, she reveals that he barely offers any emotional or practical support at home. From late nights handling the kids alone to managing the constant mess in their tiny motel space, she feels like she's carrying the entire weight of the household by herself. Over time, the lack of partnership has led her confidence spiraling, and she openly admitted she no longer feels valued or wanted.
So apparently the resilient Jenkins are breaking up. Stephanie says that she's going to leave Drew. But Stephanie, you ain't even divorced your husband. How are you gonna leave Drew? It's almost as if you're getting a taste of what the other BMs are going through. You have literally been defending Drew for the last year. We have been telling you. But this is the thing. Why do you need more engagement to help you get out of your situation when you literally could call your mom? This is what we mean. If you really wanted to leave, Stephanie, you could. You just don't want to. Your family has came on here and said multiple times that they would help you and your children, and you choose not to get their help. There is absolutely no reason for you to have so much pride when you are homeless, living in a motel with your children, and your baby daddy is a piece of work, and you need to get out of that situation. You would do anything and you would get out of there, even if that meant calling your mom and you don't want to. Period.
At one point, Stephanie asked a painful, gut-wrenching question that resonated with many viewers. How can he look elsewhere when I am right here all the time? That single question summed up years of heartbreak and disappointment. But despite the intensity of her words, longtime followers couldn't ignore a familiar feeling of deja vu. They've had these claims before, and each time promises of leaving have turned into reconciliation. That history has left many skeptical, wondering if this time will be truly different, or if Stephanie is trapped in the same painful cycle again. In the middle of her emotional breakdown, Stephanie made a surprising and emotional request to her followers that quickly became the focal point of the entire rant. Through tears and visible frustration, she begged her followers to keep liking, commenting, and sharing her videos so she could get out of there. According to her, the more engagement she received, the faster she could build enough income or attention to finally leave the toxic situation she says she feels trapped in. She explained that boosting her reach could help her secure donations, attract sponsors, and create enough financial stability to move herself and her kids out of the motel. Her plea quickly sparked intense debate online. Some followers genuinely believed she was desperate and crying out for help, seeing this as a plea from someone who had exhausted all her options and was using social media as her last resort. Others questioned whether she was deliberately using her personal struggles as content, sharing her most painful moments to trigger sympathy and boost engagement for financial gain. Adding to the controversy, many viewers pointed out that Stephanie has supportive family members who have repeatedly offered her housing, financial help, and childcare, making her request for likes and shares even more divisive. If she truly wants to leave Drew, why tie her escape plan to social media metrics instead of leaning on real-life support? This contradiction has left her audience split down the middle. Some offer sympathy and continue engaging with her content to help her leave, while others accuse her of manipulating her pain to generate income. The debate has only intensified, adding more layer of tension to an already complicated and highly public situation. Much of the tension comes from Drew's own complicated history, which Stephanie's followers have been talking about for years. Drew has multiple baby mamas and a record of leaving relationships behind as soon as challenges arise. There's a well-known pattern here. He has children, relationships get strained, and then he moves on. For a long time, people close to Stephanie and even complete strangers online have warned her about what they've observed in Drew's behavior, pointing out red flags early on. But Stephanie genuinely believed she was different. She was convinced she could change him or show him what stability looks like. She defended Drew fiercely, often pushing back on rumors and speculation. She even admitted to tracking his location to prove he wasn't cheating, showing just how determined she was to fight the accusations and protect his image. Anyone who criticized him, she dismissed as a hater, telling followers they just did not understand their relationship. Now, everything has shifted. Stephanie is openly confirming many of the behaviors she once denied, including the possibility that Drew has been dishonest and inattentive all along.
Does not get this married lady crying about her boyfriend off my For You page. There are going to be people who feel bad for Stephanie. Stephanie married a man who was convicted of hurting children. She then gave him 2 children. She had 2 kids with him. Let him groom those children to the point where CPS had to take those kids away. She then made them her mother's problem. All of them, all 3 of them. Her and her 2 kids. Move in with her mom. Now her mom's got all 3 of them she got to take care of. Because Stephanie was a train wreck, okay? And she will be again. Don't you worry. She will be again. And that's another thing that I'm going to get real annoyed about with her, because she's going to go back to being probably, I don't know how to say it,
For longtime followers, it is a jarring reality check that leaves them divided. Some see this as a sign of real growth and awakening on Stephanie's part, believing she's finally recognizing the truth. Others, however, think this could just be another chapter in a cycle she hasn't been able to break, worried history might repeat itself yet again. For years, Stephanie pointed Drew as the perfect partner and built up an image of him as someone dependable, loving, and deeply involved in their family life. She praised him constantly for stepping in with the kids, helping with homework, cooking meals, cleaning around the house, and supporting her emotionally. Her posts often described him as the man who held their little family together, and she regularly highlighted moments where he went out of his way to care for her and her children. From pictures of family dinners to videos showing Drew playing with the kids, Stephanie worked hard to present him as an ideal partner. But now, her story has completely shifted, and the picture she paints of Drew is different, very different. Drew no longer helps at home like he used to, leaving Stephanie to handle everything alone, from cooking and cleaning to parenting 5 children in a cramped motel room. He's become emotionally distant and disengaged, rarely starting conversations, avoiding serious discussions, and shutting her out whenever she tries to communicate. He is allegedly distracted by other women, and she claims his attention is no longer on her or the family. This drastic transformation in how Stephanie talks about Drew has left her followers confused and conflicted. Remember past posts where she openly praised him for being attentive, affectionate, and highly involved, which makes this narrative difficult for some to reconcile. Longtime viewers recall seeing similar shifts before: emotional rants, tearful reconciliations, and repeated public dramas. Because of this pattern, there is widespread hesitation to fully believe her latest claims until they see constant actions that match her words. One of the biggest questions viewers are asking is why Stephanie continues to refuse her family's help, especially when her situation looks so unstable. Her mother has repeatedly offered her housing, financial assistance, and child support, not just once, but several times over the past few years. Relatives have stepped forward too, letting her know she and the kids would have a safe space to land in if she decided to leave Drew. Despite this, Stephanie continues to turn down those offers and distances herself from them. Instead, she directs her energy toward her audience, asking for engagement, donations, and online support. For many viewers, this choice is puzzling. Why rely on strangers for help when family support is readily available? It's led to growing speculation. Is Stephanie avoiding family intervention to maintain control over her narrative and avoid uncomfortable questions about her choices? Or is her dependence on online engagement part of a broader strategy to sustain herself and her children financially without strings attached? Her refusal to lean on family has become one of the most debated aspects of her situation, leaving followers divided about her true motives. This isn't the first time Stephanie has aired her relationship drama online, and longtime followers know this pattern well. Even before the Facebook rant, she had hinted at ongoing trouble through private subscriber-only updates, where she teased the possibility of a breakup and shared cryptic statements about feeling trapped, unseen, and exhausted. These updates created anticipation among her close followers, and each time people believed something was about to change. We've seen this sequence repeat itself over and over. She speaks out against Drew, venting frustrations and exposing private details of their engagements. Engagement spikes. Her videos get thousands of views, comments, and reactions almost instantly. Sympathy and donations start pouring in, with supporters offering both emotional and financial help to help her leave. But eventually she stays, often reconciling with Drew after emotional apologies or promises of change. This pattern has unfolded so many times that it's become one of the biggest reasons why followers are skeptical now. While her current rants seem more emotional and detailed than before, many are questioning if this moment truly signals a breaking point or if it's just another repeat of a cycle she hasn't been able to escape. Stephanie has shared her personal struggles openly and in great detail, giving followers an unfiltered view of her plan. She said repeatedly that Drew doesn't find her attractive anymore, explaining how this lack of compliments and attention has chipped away at her confidence over time. She claims times he refuses intimacy unless explicit content is involved, describing how this has left her feeling unwanted, undervalued, and deeply disconnected from him. Her self-esteem, once much stronger, has now hit an all-time low, with Stephanie admitting she questions her own worth and desirability constantly. These deeply personal confessions show just how toxic and emotionally damaging this relationship has become for her. Her words reveal a woman wrestling with constant rejection and emotional neglect, and while her openness resonates with many viewers who see her vulnerability, it also underscores how trapped she feels in a dynamic that keeps breaking her down little by little. This insight into her emotional state adds another layer to why so many followers are concerned for her well-being. This situation goes beyond Stephanie and Drew. 5 young children are living through this chaos and instability every single day, constantly moving from place to place, living in cramped motel rooms, and being exposed to loud emotional arguments and public rants on live streams can have long-lasting emotional and developmental effects on them. Followers often point out that the lack of stability, from unpredictable housing to the constant drama being played out online, puts additional pressure on the kids, even when they're not directly involved. Stephanie often says she wants better for her kids, and it's clear she loves them deeply, but her actions so far haven't constantly matched her words. Every choice she makes, staying in a toxic relationship, sharing private family issues publicly, and tying her escape to audience engagement and donations, directly impacts their sense of security and stability. For many viewers, this is where the real concern lies. The children are growing up in an environment filled with uncertainty, and without changes, they risk carrying these struggles into their own futures. Stephanie insists she's ready to leave Drew for good and claims this time will be different. Her tone sounds more serious, her words sharper, and her frustration more genuine than before. But after years of livestream meltdowns, tearful reconciliations, and repeated instability, many of her followers are understandably cautious. For Stephanie, proving she wants a real change will require more than words. It will take concrete action, like fully accepting the consistent offers of help from her family, who have been willing to provide housing, financial assistance, and a safe environment for the kids, putting her children's emotional and physical well-being above the chaos, and creating stability they can rely on, making her decisions privately and focusing on rebuilding her life away from constant online exposure, instead of tying her escape to engagement, donations, or monetizing heartbreak. Until those steps are actually taken, skepticism will remain. Followers have seen this cycle too many times before to fully believe without seeing meaningful, lasting change. Stephanie Jenkins says this time is different. Her tone sounds more serious, her exhaustion more visible, and her frustration more genuine. But for many, words aren't enough. Until we see concrete actions, whether accepting help, moving forward independently, or truly separating from Drew, her audience will continue questioning her motives. Is this finally Stephanie's turning point? Or is it another carefully built loop of drama designed to drive views and engagement? For now, the story continues, and so does the uncertainty.